After Vasiliy Lomachenko refused to vacate his IBF belt, it became clear that he hasn't retired yet. Now, his manager, Aegis Klimas, has confirmed that Lomachenko is very much interested in a fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. Klimas stated, "Right now, Lomachenko would be the best opponent for Tank. He's a much better fighter in my opinion. Shakur is a great fighter too, but he plays it safe, moves around a lot and doesn't engage like Tank does. A fight with Tank would be much more exciting." This statement speaks volumes. It suggests that Lomachenko gained confidence after watching Gervonta struggle in his last fight against Lamont Roach, which ended in a draw. Loma now believes he can do better than Roach, meaning he thinks he has what it takes to beat Tank. Before this, Lomachenko seemed hesitant, as if he feared Tank would put him to sleep faster than NyQuil. And honestly, based on Gervonta's last 3 fights, knocking out Hector Garcia, Ryan Garcia, and then dominating Frank Martin, it was hard to find any flaws in his game. But after the Lamont Roach fight, that's a different story. After his victory over Frank Martin, Lomachenko initially chose to retire rather than take on Tank. But let's be real, he was never stripped of his IBF belt, which means he never actually retired. If he had, the sanctioning body would have taken his title. This shows that his so-called retirement was just an excuse to avoid fighting Gervonta, just like he did with Shakur Stevenson. Then, out of nowhere, Loma returned to fight George Kambosos. So why the sudden change of heart? Simple. He saw vulnerabilities in Gervonta's game that he believes he can exploit. Nothing else has changed. The only difference is that Gervonta no longer looks invincible. Instead of being a tank, he looked human in that last fight. Now, how does Gervonta feel about all this? Well, his team has already reached out to Lomachenko's camp to discuss a potential fight later this year. But first, Tank might have to handle unfinished business, a rematch with Lamont Roach in May or June. If he wins, a Lomachenko fight could be next. That would be a crazy back-to-back schedule for Tank. He better reload those clips. But let's not overlook something. There's no guarantee that Tank will beat Lamont Roach in the rematch. The first fight showed that Roach can hold his own, which is exactly why Lomachenko is now interested. It's no coincidence. As for Lomachenko avoiding Shakur, his camp claims Shakur runs too much, but that excuse doesn't hold up. Gervonta moved around a lot against Roach. Was he running? If so, why is Loma willing to fight Tank but not Shakur? We all know the truth. When a fighter says someone runs, it usually means, "I don't think I can beat him." At the end of the day, styles make fights. Lomachenko applies intelligent pressure and uses angles well, but he's a southpaw who is vulnerable to body shots. He throws crisp combinations and controls distance with his lead hand. But will that be enough against Tank? Lamont Roach had success by fighting in the pocket, countering Gervonta and beating him to the punch. But that's not Loma's style. He prefers to move, create angles, and strike only when he's in the perfect position. Will that work against Tank? That's the million-dollar question. Hopefully, this fight happens later this year. Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe, and stay tuned for more on Punch Pro. Peace out.